Where are you at with these media laws?
Well, I'm generally in favour of deregulating stuff overall. So my emphasis has always been on what's it got to get, what are we got to do to get this through, and why doesn't it go further? I did a second reading speech in which I said, well, I wouldn't have any anti-siphoning laws and I wouldn't have any restrictions on who owns media, and because I think a competitive media that operates in a deregulated environment would actually be a better outcome for consumers. And you know, some media might not survive and others would do even better than they're doing now, but overall consumers would be better served. So I think what the government is doing is sort of halfway there. They could go a lot further. But I got involved a little bit in negotiations, so I've been trying to make sure that what the government agreed to in order to get One Nation support and then Nick Xenophon's support didn't sort of butt up against what I thought should occur as well.
Were you able to get those assurances? So you're happy with the side deals that have been done with Nick Xenophon and Pauline Hanson, and it's not going to affect the way you vote? No,
I've said I'll support the government on it. The One Nation ones are interesting, and in some respects they're intriguing because it's going to result in the salaries of their senior staff being published. Now, that's not a bad thing at all. Changing the charter, they ignore their charter now pretty much, I think, so I'm not sure that that's going to make a lot of difference. But the investigation into their competitive effect on the private sector, so we've got the government-funded organisation competing with private industry, basically, make it very hard for them to succeed. That's a legitimate inquiry, so I'm quite in favour of that. And you know, all this fuss about regional media not needing support. One of the reasons they need support is because of the ABC, in particular in the regions. So then we move to Nick Xenophon's proposals, which is scholarships, cadetships and an innovation fund. Now, I don't like the idea of throwing $60 million of taxpayers' funds at something that just because Nick thinks it's a good idea. But I've had to weigh up, you know, what's the bigger issue here? Is there, you know, is there sufficient reason to say no, I'm not going to support it? And in the end, I've had to sort of hold my nose and say yes, I'll go along with it. But the irony is
out of the possible, isn't it? Politics.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Not the perfect.
No, you don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So, but the irony, of course, is that what Nick wants to do with regional media and the small media well, a lot less of it would be justified if it wasn't for the fact that the ABC competes with the private sector. Okay. So that's been a concern, you know, on swings and roundabouts. I'd rather we don't have any of that. We just let the market loose and the government gets out of the way.